All right, I'm trying to like let it come together, and I wanted to share something that I'm gonna try. Okay, there's two things because it's like there's something we experienced last night, and then I had kind of a crazy dream. So we were walking around. So Teddy had decided that he was not about to go. He did not want to go trick or treating, but I convinced him because he went downtown. He had his costume on, and we went to the park first and stuff. And I was like, let's just go walk around, look at decorations while we're out and stuff. And I was like, maybe he'll warm up to it or whatever. And but there weren't that many people. Most of the houses were just, I guess it was kind of early. I mean, it was dark, but okay, brush your shirt off. Go rinse off your hands. Go rinse your hands in the sink. Anyway, we turned a corner and this guy was sitting, there was a house and I think it was a smaller house. I think the lights were on inside. Wash your hands, rinse your hands. And the guy's truck lights were on and he was sitting, I guess he was sitting in the truck, and we just walked around. We were walking around the corner because we were heading back to the car at that point. And he got out, and when we were walking past, he was like, "You guys aren't trick-or-treating?" And I was like, "No." I was like, "My kid's not." I don't remember I'm bad about that. I forget the things, the verbiage I use, but something about how he's not feeling it, and we were just walking around looking at stuff or something. And we were already like walking past the house, and the guy called back to me, and he was like, "Hey, come here." Like, come here. And he kept like beckoning with his hand, and there was that immediate gut instinct of like, this is sketchy. And he didn't seem like, he wasn't a belligerent, like, but I was like, I'm sure, the guy, he was probably drinking, or who knows. I don't know why the dude was sitting in his truck, like whatever. But, it was very strange. And it was like, and Teddy even like, because I think I tried to get him to go up to the houses, and he didn't want to. So he was like pulling me back, but it was just funny because it was almost like it was like a signal of like, don't go there. But I walked over and, put that back, please. Put that back. Thank you. We'll have some in a little bit. Okay. And he was like, "Hey, my neighbor," he's like, I think he asked where we were from or something, or if you were from around here or something like that. And he was like, "Hey, my neighbors are new and they just moved in, and, we haven't seen it. No one's been going by, and can you guys just go up there and just so that they don't, something about that, like, so that they don't feel like left out or something." And I was like, and I even said like, "You don't think other kids will come by and stuff?" And because I think he first asked me, like, "Can you help me out?" And I was like, "Maybe." It was just, like, very strange from the beginning, because I'm like, this is random, I'm a mom, and I don't know who you are in this middle of the night. And anyway, and to me, these are the things I think of, because it's like, I've been doing this single mom thing for so long, and it's like, anyway, but... And then I was like, I'll try. And so we walked, because we were right there. So I tried to get Teddy to walk up, and the guy was like, and he wasn't having it. And then the guy was like, "Hey, I'll even walk with you guys." And I was like, "Sorry, we'll try again next year," as I walked away. And I was like, and then it was interesting because I kind of just brushed it off, because weird things like that have happened to me before. It's not like that's the first time, but it was like afterward, I went through this whole like process of like, hey, we're going to go outside if we're too loud. I went through this whole process of all these things coming to me, like that feeling of abandonment again, like just feeling like a feeling of hopelessness. And I had like cried a few times in the car, put some music on. And it was strange how everything happened, because it was like I shifted out of it really, really quickly. And I've been moving through a lot of those little things like lately because of what we're going through. But when I got home, it was like these different things were coming to me of like, I've had this realization many times, but like this remembrance of like, I'm not living a typical life. Like, me and Teddy have a very like we've been living this very like hermit-like life. I mean, we get out and we, especially late in the last, I don't know how long, like we get out a lot, we go do stuff, but we live a very like simple hermit-like life. And that suits the both of us because we're both hypersensitive. And it was like, that's not something that was like brought to my attention growing up that, but I knew that about me. But of course I did become more hardened by life and stuff like that too, but I've always been sensitive. And then the more that you're coming back to yourself, the more if you have psychic abilities, or if you have any of the clairs, any of that, it's like you become more and more and more sensitive. And so those were little pieces that were coming to me. And it's like, I know it's going to be like that going forward. Like regardless of what else happens in our life, it's like, I know that there's a need for me to be in immense amounts of solitude. I know there's this need for me to have an environment that I can be out in nature a lot. I know that because, I would say other stuff, but we don't have money for it. But like that came to me, but it wasn't like a pity or like an anger. It wasn't any of that. It was a feeling of like an aha moment, like a restfulness in my body of like, okay, like we're never going to have like a typical type of life. And I'm always going to need more of this solitude. And I just have to stand up for that about myself, because this is who I am. Like, this is who we've been in the last like few years, truly. Like, it's been less and less and less of being around people or having other support even and stuff like that. So it doesn't mean that I won't want to, like, I would love to have a tribe and all these things, but like, God is I want to give this to whoever else is like going through any kind of thing like this, or like you're going on your own journey, you're going on this self journey, because it's like, it's going to be particular to you, but there's going to be probably some similarities of like, you realize that you're not meant for everybody. Like, there's always going to be this devil energy that's trying to take you down, that's trying to like pull you around. That felt like a Jezebel spirit last night, but it was like, you're always going to be dealing with that. So it's kind of like God's trying to keep showing you like, you got to just be okay with having a very simple life. And that's beautiful. Like, it's like, just because other people aren't living like you, or that have, are always having more, always have more things, or I don't even know what it is. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't make any one of us better than another. And also for me, like not beating, anyways, sometimes it's easy. It's hard because there's always this pull of the outside world of like the keeping up with the Joneses type of thing. And those moments of feeling that abandonment and feeling like, how are we going to keep going without more support? But then it's like, it's sort of like in a to me, in like a coy kind of way of the universe being like, do you really want more support, or do you want the support that's going to stand by you and appreciate you and be able to pour into you? Because you can't force these things. You have to just be okay with where you are until that happens, type of thing. And that's how it landed for me. So I wanted to share that. And I'm going to try to add in, I'm still trying to figure out what the message was from this dream that I had, but I had this crazy dream that there was, I forget parts of it. It's always hard to remember all of it, but it was like, I don't know what I was doing. I was like in school or something, but I mean, I was like grown, like I was living in this place because Teddy wasn't there. So it was like, I don't know exactly, but like, what was going on or what I was doing, but I was in this place. And because I remember I was moving around and going to different places, and it's like, I had my own place and stuff. And there was this guy, and he was like, I guess he was a friend. I can remember who it's one of those, like, my imagination might have just created this person, but like he resembled someone from my past that I went to school with. But anyway, he was like, oh gosh, now it's like slipping away. It's like he was acting very, very strange, and was like, but it was like all these weird things where I was like, he wouldn't leave me alone. He just kept following me around, and Now I wish I'd sat with it. I wish I'd written it down. But it was like, I remember I said something to him. He was like, he wanted to do whatever I was doing. It reminds me so much of the kids on the swings, because they always do that. It's so funny. But it's like, he wanted to do whatever I was doing. And it was like, and then it was like, I said something, and he was like, he like came back at me with like this command, but it was like kind of playful. But it was like he was trying to act like, he was going to get what he wanted. That was the overall message. It was a very kind of like thief kind of energy of like, he was like, I'm going to stick around here. That's what it was. It was like, I'm going to keep sticking around and being a part of the big picture, being a part of your life until you succumb to what I want. Like that was the energy, because it wasn't like I don't remember in the dream. I'm talking about in the dream. Like, I don't remember this feeling of being annoyed, but I remember feeling like this is a test. This is a game that this person is playing with me. And it wasn't, and I knew in the dream even that I was like, this is not unconditional love. This person doesn't love me. And because they were playing it like they wanted to be my boyfriend, it was like all these different things were happening, and they were like trying to be flirty and like come on to me. It was all these different things, but I just don't remember specifics. And then at the end, and then when I woke up, it was like, it was like this realization that was like that person didn't love me. It wasn't unconditional. It wasn't, and I didn't feel safe or protected or any of those things. It was like, I just felt like this person's on the outside, like, they just want to get what they want. And, that's another interesting energy that you deal with, that happens on this journey. And, I haven't figured out the overall message from that, but I wanted to share it because I thought it was so interesting. But to me, again, it goes back to, it's like, that's why it's like we have to keep journeying wherever we are and like accepting that and not trying to fight it, because that makes it all the harder. And it always reiterates to me that it's like, I don't want anyone that's not kind of coming to me with unconditional love, because after you've been through so many betrayals, you're like, my heart can't take this again. And you truly get to that place of like, if I have to truck it alone and take baby steps and be out here crawling every day, but until it gets better, like that's what we're doing. Because especially if you truly cared about and loved people and they couldn't meet you there. And it's like, you have to just forgive, because it's not their fault either. But anyway, I hope that helps somebody. I just wanted to share those. Cause it's these moments that you realize that you are where you're meant to be, that help you to give you the strength to keep going. All right. Love you guys.